Admiral Zarkov stood on the bridge of his massive warship, looking at the blue planet on the main screen. Earth, so small, so weak, and soon to be another conquest for the mighty Draconian Empire. 300 warships ready for your command, Admiral, said Commander Vex with a slight bow. The humans have no idea we are here. Their primitive sensors cannot detect our cloaking technology. Zarkov nodded, his scaled face showing no emotion. After conquering 57 planets, Earth would be just another name on his long list of victories. Begin the standard procedure. Send the ultimatum. They have 48 hours to surrender or we destroy their major cities one by one, Zarkov ordered. The message was sent to every government on Earth. Within minutes, panic spread across the planet. News channels showed the massive alien ships that had suddenly appeared in orbit. People rushed to stores for supplies. Some prayed, others hid. But in a secret underground facility beneath the Rocky Mountains, things were different. Here, the world's best scientists and military leaders gathered around a table, surprisingly calm. "They're exactly where we expected them to be," said Dr. Maya Chen, pointing to a holographic display showing the positions of the Draconian fleet, just as our deep space probes predicted. General Williams frowned. "Are you certain your plan will work, Doctor? We're talking about the most powerful empire in the galaxy." Dr. Chen smiled. "The Draconians have conquered many worlds, but they've never faced humans before. We have something they don't expect." "And what's that?" asked the Russian representative. "Creativity and a willingness to try the impossible," she replied. "For 3 years, we've been studying their technology from the scout ship that crashed in the Arctic. We know their weaknesses." In his ship, Admiral Zarkov was surprised when he received Earth's response. Instead of surrender, they requested a face-to-face meeting. "This is unusual," he told his officers. "Most species beg for mercy or try to fight. None ask for a meeting." "It must be a trap," said Commander Vex. "What trap could these primitives possibly set for us?" Zarkov laughed. "Their most advanced weapons are like toys compared to our technology. No, I'm curious. I will meet these humans and learn about them before we crush them." He didn't notice the slight smile on his communication officer's face, a human spy who had infiltrated the ship months ago. As Zarkov agreed to the meeting, the spy sent a coded message to Earth. Phase 1 complete. Back on Earth, Dr. Chen received the message and turned to her team. The Admiral took the bait. "Prepare the quantum entanglement device and the nanobots. When we board their flagship, we'll have only minutes to deploy them." "And if we're caught?" asked her assistant. "Then humanity falls," Dr. Chen said simply. "But we won't be caught. The Draconians think we're primitive and harmless. That's their first mistake." As night fell across Earth, the teams of scientists and hackers worked frantically, preparing for humanity's most daring gambit. Tomorrow, they would meet the enemy face to face, and the real plan would begin. A plan so audacious that even most world leaders didn't know the full details. The fate of Earth now rested on a desperate plan and the arrogance of an alien admiral who had never known defeat. The small human shuttle approached the massive Draconian flagship. Dr. Maya Chen looked out the window at the Devastator, a warship larger than any building on Earth. Its dark metal surface was covered with strange symbols and powerful weapons. "Remember the plan," she whispered to her team of 5 specialists. "Act respectful, but not afraid. We need 20 minutes aboard their ship. That's all." The shuttle docked with a metallic clunk. Armed Draconian guards met them. Tall reptilian soldiers with advanced armor and weapons that glowed with strange energy. "Follow us to Admiral Zarkov," the lead guard ordered in perfect English. "Make no sudden movements." They walked through long corridors of the alien ship. Hidden in Dr. Chen's elegant diplomatic clothes were millions of microscopic nanobots, ready to be released into the ship's air systems. In her hand, she carried a small wooden box, Earth's gift to the Draconians. Admiral Zarkov waited in a large command room. He stood nearly 7 feet tall, his scaled skin a deep blue-gray. His yellow eyes studied the humans with cold curiosity. "Welcome aboard the Devastator," Zarkov said. "Your request for this meeting before your inevitable surrender is unusual." Dr. Chen bowed slightly. "Thank you for agreeing to meet, Admiral. Before decisions are made that cannot be undone, we wanted you to understand who we are." "Who you are?" Zarkov laughed. "You are primitives. Your civilization has not even left your own solar system." "True," Dr. Chen smiled. "But we have other qualities you might find interesting." As she spoke about Earth's history and diverse cultures, the nanobots silently spread throughout the ship's ventilation system. Too small to be detected by Draconian sensors, they began mapping the ship's systems and sending data back to Earth. Meanwhile on Earth, in an underground facility, Jin Kazama and his team of hackers watched as information flooded their screens. "It's working," Jin exclaimed. "We're getting their ship schematics, weapon systems, and wait, this is interesting." "What is it?" General Williams asked, looking over his shoulder. "Their quantum communication network. It's similar to Project Oracle, our theoretical system." Jin's fingers flew across his keyboard. "This changes everything. We might be able to hack their entire fleet." Back on the Devastator, Dr. Chen was showing Zarkov images of Earth's natural wonders and achievements. "Your planet is not without beauty," Zarkov admitted. "It will make a fine addition to the Empire." "Before you make that decision," Dr. Chen said, "we've brought you a gift, a small example of human craftsmanship." She presented the wooden box. Inside was a crystal sculpture that caught the light in beautiful patterns. "Primitive, but charming," Zarkov said, taking the gift. He didn't realize the crystal contained a quantum entanglement device, a direct link to the Oracle system on Earth. "The meeting has been informative," Zarkov said finally. "You have 36 hours remaining to surrender. I suggest you use them wisely." As the humans returned to their shuttle, Commander Vex approached the Admiral. "Was this meeting necessary?" he asked. "Know your enemy, Commander," Zarkov replied. "These humans are unusual. They show no fear." "Perhaps they don't understand the situation," Vex suggested. "Perhaps," Zarkov said, placing the crystal gift on a shelf in his quarters. "Or perhaps they have a reason for their confidence. Either way, it won't matter in 2 days." Little did he know, the first battle had already been lost. As Dr. Chen's shuttle returned to Earth, humanity's secret weapon was already in place, deep beneath the mountains of Switzerland. Jin Kazama typed rapidly on his computer. Around him, 50 of the world's best hackers worked in silent concentration. The room hummed with the sound of powerful machines. "How much time do we have left?" Jin asked without looking up from his screen. 28 hours until the Draconians attack," his assistant replied, checking her watch. Jin nodded. Once a famous criminal hacker, he had been recruited 3 years ago when the government discovered the alien threat. Now, humanity's survival depended on his skills. "Activate Project Oracle," Jin ordered. Across the planet, hidden facilities powered up. Built during the Cold War and kept secret for decades, Project Oracle was a global quantum computing network designed to survive even nuclear war. Most world leaders didn't know it existed. Connection established with the quantum device on the Draconian flagship, a technician announced. "We're in their system." Jin smiled. "Now for the tricky part. We don't want to shut down their ships. They would notice that immediately. Instead, we're going to create subtle problems, sensor ghosts, communication delays, nothing they can easily find or fix." On the Devastator, Admiral Zarkov frowned at his tactical display. Something wasn't right. The screen showed Earth's military forces in different positions than reported just an hour ago. "Commander Vex, run a diagnostic on our sensor array," he ordered. "Yes, Admiral," Vex replied. "Though I must remind you, we have the most advanced technology in the galaxy. If there are errors, they're likely coming from the humans' primitive jammers." The diagnostic showed nothing wrong, but Zarkov remained suspicious. As a veteran of hundreds of conquests, he had developed a sixth sense for danger. "Move the attack timeline forward," he suddenly ordered. "We strike in 6 hours, not 28. In the Swiss facility, alarms blared. "They're changing their plans," Jin shouted. "They're attacking early." Dr. Chen rushed into the room. "How did they know?" "They didn't," Jin replied. "The Admiral is just being cautious. But we're not ready yet." "We have no choice," Dr. Chen said. "Activate ARTNIS." Jin looked shocked. "But it's not fully tested. We plan to use it only as a last resort." "This is our last resort," Dr. Chen said grimly. "If their fleet reaches our atmosphere, it's over." In a secret facility under the Antarctic ice, scientists activated the ARTMIS system, a machine built using principles discovered at CERN's particle accelerator. It could manipulate gravity itself, but was dangerously unstable. As the first wave of Draconian ships descended toward Earth, ARTMIS powered up. Blue energy pulsed from antennas hidden across the planet. On the Devastator, alarms sounded. "Admiral," shouted a panicked officer. "Gravity fluctuations detected around our attack force." Zarkov watched in disbelief as his ships began to drift off course, their engines struggling against invisible forces. "Impossible," he whispered. "These humans have technology that shouldn't exist." In Antarctica, the RTMIS machine glowed brighter, shaking the entire facility. "It's working," a scientist shouted over the noise. "But the system is becoming unstable. We can't control it much longer." Jin's team worked frantically, using the Oracle network to amplify RTMIS's effects on the Draconian ships. "This is just the beginning," Dr. Chen said, watching the alien ship struggle. "Now we show them why they should never have threatened Earth." The first wave of Draconian ships entered Earth's atmosphere, their massive forms casting shadows over cities below. People watched in terror as the alien vessels, each the size of a small town, descended through the clouds. But the invasion wasn't going as planned. The ships moved erratically, struggling against invisible forces. On military bases around the world, human fighters took off, armed with special weapons designed using technology from the crashed Draconian scout ship. Admiral Zarkov watched from the Devastator as his attack force encountered unexpected resistance. "What is happening?" he demanded. "Why are our ships moving so slowly?" "Unknown, Admiral," replied his science officer. "The humans seem to be manipulating gravity itself. It's affecting our engines and weapon systems." "Impossible." Zarkov slammed his fist on the command console. "They are a primitive species." On a screen, he watched in shock as a Draconian warship, a vessel that could normally destroy an entire city, was attacked by small human fighters. The fighters fired weapons that somehow bypassed the ship's shields, targeting specific weak points that should have been unknown to the humans. "They know our ship designs," Commander Vex realized, his voice filled with disbelief. "They know exactly where to strike." In the Antarctic RTMIS facility, warning lights flashed as the machine pushed beyond its safe limits. "The gravitational field is becoming unstable," a scientist warned Dr. Chen over the communication link. "We can maintain it for maybe 20 more minutes before risking permanent damage to Earth's gravity." "Keep it running," Dr. Chen ordered. "Jin, how's the Oracle network performing?" In Switzerland, Jin monitored the battle through the compromised Draconian systems. "Better than expected. We're feeding targeting data to our military forces and creating false readings in their defensive systems." Around the world, the battle raged. 12 Draconian ships had already been disabled, crashing into unpopulated areas, exactly where the humans had planned. Recovery teams rushed to secure the crash sites, gathering more alien technology for study. On the Devastator, Zarkov made a difficult decision. "Recall the first wave," he ordered. "We need to regroup and adjust our strategy." "Admiral, retreating from primitives?" Vex questioned in shock. "This is not a retreat," Zarkov hissed. "It's a tactical adjustment. These humans have hidden capabilities. We must understand what we're facing before continuing. As the remaining ships of the first wave attempted to return to orbit, the RTEMIS effect intensified. The gravitational distortions grew stronger, causing ships to collide with each other. Draconian crews panicked as their highly advanced technology failed around them. In orbit, Zarkov prepared to lead the second wave personally. "Prepare my command shuttle," he ordered. "I will take control of this situation myself." "Admiral, our scans show the gravitational distortions are increasing," his science officer warned. "It may be dangerous too." "I will not be defeated by primitives," Zarkov shouted. "The Draconian Empire has conquered hundreds of worlds. Earth will not be the exception." As his shuttle prepared to leave the Devastator, Jin's team executed the next phase of their plan. Using the quantum entanglement device hidden in the gift crystal, they sent a powerful surge through the flagship's systems. Alarms blared throughout the Devastator as its quantum communication network overloaded. The surge spread to other ships through their linked systems. Zarkov felt fear for the first time in decades. Something unprecedented was happening. Something that threatened not just the invasion, but the entire fleet. "What have these humans done?" he whispered. Strange blue light rippled across Earth's sky as the ORTENIS system reached full power. The gravitational distortions spread throughout near-Earth space, creating waves that no Draconian ship could escape. Inside the Antarctic facility, warning sirens blared. The machine glowed with intense energy, parts of it melting from the heat. "We're approaching critical failure," shouted the chief engineer. The system wasn't designed to run this long at full power. On the video screen, Dr. Chen's face showed concern but determination. "Hold it together for 5 more minutes. That's all we need." In Switzerland, Jin Kazama executed the final stage of their plan. Using the Oracle network and the backdoor created by the quantum entanglement device, his team sent precise code sequences to the Draconian fleet's interconnected systems. "Power surge activated," Jin announced, targeting their artificial gravity generators now. The effect was immediate and devastating. On hundreds of Draconian ships, the artificial gravity systems went haywire, conflicting with the ORTEMIS-generated distortions. Critical systems failed as power surged through circuits that were never designed to handle such stress. On the Devastator, Admiral Zarkov gripped his command chair as the ship shuddered violently. "Status report," he shouted over the alarms. "Multiple system failures across the fleet," a panicked officer replied. "And there's something else, strange energy readings appearing around each ship." Zarkov looked at the main screen and saw it, a shimmering distortion in space surrounding one of his battle cruisers. As he watched in horror, the massive ship seemed to stretch and then vanish, simply disappeared, as if it had never existed. "What just happened?" Commander Vex asked, his voice barely a whisper. Before anyone could answer, another ship vanished, then another. All around the fleet, ships were blinking out of existence without explosion or debris. "Emergency transmission to High Command," Zarkov ordered, his usual confidence gone. "The humans have weapons beyond anything we've encountered. They're not destroying our ships, they're making them vanish." As he spoke, a shimmering field appeared around the Devastator itself. On Earth, military commanders watched their screens in amazement as Draconian ships disappeared one after another. "What's happening to them?" General Williams asked. "Are we destroying them?" "Not exactly," Dr. Chen replied. "The combination of RTEMIS and their compromised systems is creating microscopic temporary wormholes. We're not sure where the ships are going, but they're being displaced from our reality." In the Antarctic, the RTEMIS machine gave a final surge of power before shutting down. Parts of it completely melted. The scientists cheered despite the damage. Their gamble had worked. Jin's team watched through the Oracle network as the last ships disappeared. The Devastator was among the final vessels to vanish, with Admiral Zarkov's transmission cutting off mid-sentence. In just 6 hours since the battle began, The entire Draconian fleet, all 300 warships and their crews, had vanished without a trace. No debris, no explosions, just empty space where a mighty armada had been. As the blue light faded from Earth's sky, people emerged from shelters, looking up in confusion and hope. The alien fleet was gone, but no one knew exactly what had happened, or if the Draconians would return. Dr. Chen stared at the data streaming across her screen. "We've won the battle," she said quietly, "but I fear we may have opened a door to something we don't understand." News of the Draconian fleet's disappearance spread quickly across the galaxy. On the Draconian homeworld, Emperor Vexthor refused to believe the reports. "Impossible," he roared, smashing a holographic display. "An entire fleet cannot simply vanish, especially not against a primitive world." His advisors trembled before him. "The last transmission from Admiral Zarkov mentioned strange weapons, Your Highness. Weapons that manipulate gravity and space itself. The Emperor sent probe ships to investigate. They maintained a safe distance from Earth, observing and scanning. The data they sent back confirmed the unbelievable truth. The Fourth Fleet was gone. No debris. No radiation signatures. Nothing." Across the galaxy, other species heard the news. The Arcturians, a peaceful race of scientists, held an emergency council meeting in their crystal cities. "For centuries, we have hidden our advanced technology from the Draconians," said Elder Thelev, their oldest and wisest leader. "Now these humans have done what we dared not attempt. They stood against the Empire and won." The council agreed to send a diplomatic mission to Earth. After centuries of hiding, perhaps it was time to seek allies. Meanwhile on Earth, celebrations turned to confusion as strange phenomena began to occur. Weather patterns changed unexpectedly. Compasses pointed in wrong directions. Most concerning of all, scientists detected brief flashes of Draconian energy signatures appearing and disappearing around the planet. In her laboratory, Dr. Chen studied these anomalies. The ships weren't destroyed. She explained to world leaders gathered via video conference. "Our calculations suggest they were displaced, possibly into another dimension or distant part of space." "Are they coming back?" asked the American president. "We don't know," Dr. Chen admitted. "But these energy signatures suggest the barrier between dimensions is thin where the ships disappeared. Something is trying to push through." Before the leaders could respond, a new alert sounded. An unidentified ship had entered orbit around Earth, but it wasn't Draconian. "We come in peace," came a transmission in perfect English. "We are the Arcturians, and we have watched your world for many years. The time has come to meet." The Arcturian ambassador, Thelev, arrived at the United Nations building the next day. Unlike the reptilian Draconians, the Arcturians were tall, slender beings with blue skin and large, thoughtful eyes. "Your victory over the Draconian Empire has changed the balance of power in our galaxy," Thelev told the assembled leaders. "For millennia, they have conquered and enslaved. Many species now look to Earth with hope." "We didn't destroy them," Dr. Chen said. "We don't know where they went." Thelev nodded. "That is both fortunate and concerning. Your RTMIS technology created tears in spacetime. The Draconians may return, or something else might find its way through those tears." As if to confirm his words, scientific instruments worldwide detected a massive surge of energy. For 3 seconds, a massive Draconian battleship appeared over the Pacific Ocean before vanishing again. "It's starting," Dr. Chen whispered. "The barriers between dimensions are weakening." Thelev's expression was grave. "You have won a battle, humans, but now you face something far more dangerous than the Draconian Empire. The very fabric of reality has been damaged, and the consequences are just beginning." Emperor Vexthor stood before the high command of the Draconian Empire, his rage barely contained. "Earth must be destroyed," he declared. "Not conquered, destroyed. These humans have humiliated our empire and cost us our most powerful fleet." The military leaders nodded in agreement, but the chief strategist spoke cautiously. "Your Highness, our forces are spread thin across our territories. Already, 3 subjugated worlds have begun rebellions after hearing about Earth's victory." "Then send our elite commandos," the Emperor ordered. "Find the scientists responsible for this weapon and eliminate them. Steal their technology. We must understand how they made our fleet vanish." Within days, Draconian special forces began arriving on Earth in small, stealthy ships. Unlike the massive warships of the main fleet, these vessels were designed for covered operations and could slip through Earth's defenses. In Switzerland, Jin Kazama's security systems detected an intrusion. Armed figures moved through the forests surrounding the Oracle facility. The Oracle network had predicted this attack and was ready. "Draconian commandos detected," announced the security chief. 3 teams approaching from different directions. Jin smiled. "They think they're hunting us. Let's show them who the real hunters are." Automated defense systems activated throughout the forest. Hidden sensors tracked the Draconians' movements, while Oracle predicted their next steps with perfect accuracy. When the aliens reached the facility's outer perimeter, they found not scientists but a special forces team waiting in perfect ambush positions. The battle was brief but intense. Most of the Draconians were captured rather than killed. One of them, a commander named Krell, was brought before Jin and Dr. Chen for questioning. "Your empire has made a mistake," Dr. Chen told the captured alien. "We didn't want war. We only defended ourselves." Krell laughed bitterly. "You have no idea what you've done. Our ships aren't destroyed. They're appearing and disappearing throughout the galaxy. A battle cruiser appeared for 6 minutes near our homeworld yesterday before vanishing again. The crew was changed." "Changed how?" Jin asked. "They aged decades in what should have been days," Krell said, his voice showing fear for the first time. "And they spoke of creatures they encountered in what they called the between space, ancient entities watching our reality through thin spots in the universe." Similar Draconian raids happened across Earth, targeting key facilities and scientists. But thanks to Oracle's predictions and the new alliance with the Arcturians, most were captured or repelled. In a secret meeting, world leaders established the Terran Defense Initiative, TDI, combining military forces, scientific research, and intelligence operations from all nations. Their first project, developing faster-than-light travel using technology from captured Draconian ships. "We need to expand beyond Earth," Dr. Chen explained. "Establish colonies on other worlds before the Draconians return in force." Ambassador Thiliv offered Arcturian help. "We have a suitable world in the Alpha Centauri system. We can help you establish your first colony there." As these plans developed, strange anomalies continued to increase around Earth. Random objects from the Draconian ships appeared and disappeared. Weapons, technology, and occasionally crew members who were quickly detained for questioning. Each told similar stories of a realm between dimensions where time flowed differently. And something ancient had taken notice of the new arrivals, something that was now studying the tiers in reality leading to Earth. The hunt had begun, but it wasn't clear who was hunting whom. 6 months after the Draconian fleet vanished, a normal day at the Mars research base turned extraordinary. Alarms blared as sensors detected an unidentified ship appearing in orbit. "It's Draconian," shouted the base commander. "Battle stations." But something was wrong with the alien ship. It drifted aimlessly, its engines dark. Scans showed severe damage across its hull. This wasn't an attack. It was a ghost returning from wherever the fleet had disappeared to. Earth sent a team to investigate, led by Dr. Chen. Wearing protective suits, they boarded the silent Draconian scout ship. What they found inside shocked them. The crew was alive but changed. Their scales had turned white, and their eyes had a strange, distant look. The ship's captain, once a proud warrior, trembled constantly. "We were trapped," he whispered when questioned. "Trapped in the labyrinth for centuries. Time moves differently there." "The labyrinth?" Dr. Chen asked. "The space between realities," the captain explained, his voice shaking. "A maze with no end. And we weren't alone there. The architects watched us, studied us, ancient beings that exist in many dimensions at once. And now, they're curious about you. According to the ship's log, only 6 months had passed in our world, but the crew had experienced what felt like centuries in this other realm. More disturbing was the evidence that the scout ship hadn't escaped by accident. Something had pushed it back through. Meanwhile, the Alpha Centauri colony was developing quickly with Arcturian help. 10,000 humans had already moved to the habitable moon they named New Terra. During excavation for a new settlement, colonists discovered something unexpected: ruins of an ancient structure. "These aren't Arcturian," confirmed Ambassador Thiliv, examining the strange symbols carved into stone walls. "This civilization existed millions of years ago. They appear to have been hiding from something." On Earth, Jin analyzed the data from the returned Draconian ship using the Oracle network. "The dimensional barriers are weakening faster than we predicted," he reported to the TDI Council. "We're detecting similar energy signatures to the ARTEMIS effect at multiple locations around Earth, but we're not causing them." Dr. Chen connected the dots. Something on the other side is trying to create its own doorways. That night, people across Earth reported strange dreams of watching eyes and shifting geometries. Children drew pictures of the same bizarre, impossible structure, a vast city that seemed to fold in on itself in ways that shouldn't be possible in three-dimensional space. In his laboratory, Dr. Chen studied a strange material recovered from the Draconian scout ship, a metal that sometimes became transparent, revealing glimpses of somewhere else. Through it, she occasionally saw shadowy figures moving, watching. "We didn't just displace the Draconian fleet," she told Jin during a secure call. "We accidentally created bridges between dimensions, and now something ancient has found those bridges and is learning how to cross them." That evening, 16 people around the world vanished simultaneously, disappearing before witnesses' eyes exactly as the Draconian ships had done 6 months earlier. The dimensional echoes were growing stronger, and something was coming through. A massive energy surge lit up sensors across Earth's solar system. Scientists at monitoring stations watched in amazement as a controlled dimensional rift opened near Neptune's orbit. From this swirling portal emerged a single ship, unmistakably Draconian in design, but heavily modified with strange technology. "It's the Devastator," Jin confirmed, studying the readings. "Admiral Zarkov's flagship. But it's changed." The ship broadcast a simple message in perfect English: "We need to talk." World leaders debated how to respond. Was this a trap? After hours of discussion, they agreed to meet the Admiral at a neutral location, the International Space Station in Earth orbit, now expanded and heavily defended. When Zarkov's shuttle docked with the station, everyone gasped. The once proud Admiral had aged decades. His scales were gray, and cybernetic implants covered parts of his body. These weren't standard Draconian technology. They were made of the same strange, sometimes transparent material found on the scout ship. "You look surprised," Zarkov said, his voice tired. "For you, it has been 7 months. For me, it has been 50 years." Under heavy guard, he explained what happened to the fleet. "When your ARTEMIS system activated, it created tears in reality. Our ships were pulled into what we call the labyrinth, a space between dimensions where time flows differently. Most of our fleet was destroyed trying to escape. And the survivors?" Dr. Chen asked. "We adapted," Zarkov said simply. "We learned to navigate the labyrinth. We discovered we weren't the first beings trapped there. Many civilizations have accidentally accessed this realm. Some appeared to be human, but from different timelines or possible futures." His expression darkened. "But the labyrinth belongs to the architects, beings that exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously. They've been watching sentient species throughout the galaxy for millions of years." The missing people, Jin realized. They were taken by these architects. Zarkov nodded. "They're studying humans now. Your RTMIS technology created stable passages between dimensions, something they've been trying to achieve for eons. And now they're coming to investigate. Scans confirmed Zarkov's story. The dimensional rifts were growing more stable. Strange objects, probes composed of the same partially transparent material, had appeared around Earth, studying the planet while remaining slightly out of phase with our reality. When military forces tried to capture them, the objects simply shifted dimensions, becoming intangible. "I came to warn you," Zarkov said. "My empire and your world have been enemies, but what's coming is a threat to all life in this dimension. The architects don't see us as equals, just interesting specimens to study." Dr. Chen looked skeptical. "Why would you help us? We defeated your fleet." 50 years in the labyrinth changes your perspective," Zarkov replied. "I've seen worlds where the Draconian Empire and Earth became allies. I've seen timelines where both our civilizations were wiped out by the architects. I've chosen to fight for this reality's survival." As if to emphasize his point, alarms sounded throughout the station. A massive dimensional rift was forming near Earth's moon, large enough for something big to come through. "They're here," Zarkov said grimly. Dimensional rifts opened across Earth's solar system. Strange objects emerged, crystalline probes that shifted between solid and transparent as they moved. Military forces tried to intercept them, but the objects simply phased slightly out of reality, becoming untouchable. "The architects are studying us," Admiral Zarkov explained to the emergency meeting of world leaders and alien representatives. "Before they fully enter our dimension, the Galactic Council, once dominated by the Draconian Empire but now reformed, sent ships to help Earth. Species that had once feared each other now work together against a common threat. The dimensional barrier technology is our only hope," Dr. Chen said, reviewing data with a mixed team of human, Draconian, and Arcturian scientists. "If we modify the ORTMIS system, we might create a permanent shield between our reality and the labyrinth." "It would require enormous energy," Jin added. "More than Earth can generate alone." Ambassador Theliv of the Arcturians stepped forward. "My people will provide the crystalline power sources. The Draconians must contribute their quantum field generators." Zarkov nodded. "We will do our part. This threat is greater than our old conflicts." For 3 days, the Allied fleet gathered at the edge of the solar system. Earth ships, Arcturian vessels, and remaining Draconian cruisers formed a defensive line as engineers installed the modified RTMIS technology throughout the fleet. Then it appeared. A massive architect vessel began materializing near Jupiter. Unlike the solid ships of our dimension, this craft shifted and changed, parts of it existing in different realities simultaneously. It was enormous, larger than any Draconian battleship. "They're fully coming through," Zarkov warned. "We must act now." Dr. Chen gave the order. "Activate the dimensional barrier." From the Allied fleet, a wave of blue energy expanded outward. Where it touched the dimensional rifts, they began to close. The architect probes tried to phase away but were pushed back into their own dimension. The massive architect vessel fought against the effect, attempting to stabilize its presence in our reality. Strange energy beams lashed out, destroying 3 Allied ships instantly. "Increase power to the barrier," Dr. Chen ordered. Jin's voice came over the communication system. "The system is becoming unstable. The main control ship will be caught in the effect." Dr. Chen looked at her team aboard the control vessel. "We always knew this was a one-way mission." The barrier expanded with its final surge of power, engulfing the architect vessel. Like the Draconian fleet before it, the massive ship seemed to stretch and then vanish, pushed back into the labyrinth. The dimensional rifts closed one by one. But the control ship, carrying Dr. Chen and the Allied scientists, also vanished in the final pulse. When the light faded, space was empty where moments before battle had raged. The barrier had worked. All dimensional connections to the labyrinth were sealed. Earth and the galaxy were safe, but at a terrible cost. In the aftermath, the Alliance formalized what had begun in crisis. The new Galactic Council included Earth as a full member, despite its limited interstellar presence. Admiral Zarkov, once Earth's greatest enemy, became an advisor to human leaders. 1 month later, Jin discovered strange quantum signatures in the Oracle network, patterns suggesting that Dr. Chen and the others weren't destroyed but displaced, perhaps to another time or parallel reality. They're out there somewhere, Jin told the council, and somehow we'll find them. As humanity took its place among the stars, a new mission began, not of war or conquest, but of exploration, cooperation, and rescue. The end.